as we are talking about the TEC mission, vision, and values, that is like the mission, vision, and values that are going to represent all of us. I also wanted to have an exercise to see which are the mission, vision, and values that we have like individually, so that we can also see how can we apply these individual mission, vision, and values into the organization mission, vision, and values, and how can we align these different individual points of view into what bring us all together. So I will start. People joining can see the question here, and is that as we are trying to figure out what is the vision, mission, and values for the organization, it's good also to identify with which is our own personal mission, vision, and values. So I can start, and I would say also I will post this document that is the Gravity Working Group notes in the Gravity channel, the Gravity text channel. And I would say that I feel that my mission is to help like our systems to be more fair and less and to promote to have less inequality. I think that my mission is that, like coming from Colombia, where I see so much inequality, that's something that strikes me really hard every time I go out of my house. So like I feel that my mission is to yeah, to promote less inequality. It's weird the way it's being phrased because it's promoting less, but I am inequality. Maybe I can rephrase it later. And yeah, it's like I am really hurt by all the people that is in the street, by all the people, all the old and young people who doesn't have like a ceiling, and that they don't have access to public services. That is something that really strikes me, and I feel that the mission of my life is to help these people who is suffering from the system, like to be in a better position, and that implies even changing the system itself. And I feel that uh, that is something we all have in common, and is like promoting better systems. uh, I envision myself in 5 or 10 years. I would love to buy a boat, and I would love to like live on board of my boat. That is like my dream, because my grandfather, he was from Cuba, and he came to Colombia before World War II. And like I don't know, I have always felt that like I want to travel the world, and I want to travel like the sea. So yeah, having a boat, it's like something like that I envision myself doing between 5 or 10 years. And I think that a core value that I feel identified by is social responsibility. Like I feel that I am responsible of the well-being of society, and like I don't want to cross my arms to it. So I want to be active, and I feel that that is a value that drives me a lot. And I will pass to Durgadas.
Okay, so the question is, what's our personal vision, mission, values? Um, Well, I want people to understand themselves, beyond their individuality and beyond their, individual self-conception and identity. And in order to do that, then you have to help them develop in some way. And I use mental models as tools to hopefully generate and inspire people in such a way that they can feel like they can apply that and become larger. In my sense, it's a my main mission is kind of lovingness, in the sense that in the Vedantic way, they say that love is your emotional response to your infinite nature. And so if I can create a feeling within someone that they have become larger within themselves, or that I'm including them in my thinking, or they're in the thinking that they become larger than they originally were. So that means they're also more like their actual nature, which is timeless, infinite, and unchanging. So from my perspective, this loving impulse is kind of where I'm coming from. And so I like to think about it in terms of that. So I don't really have an individual mission. I'm sort of incarnated here, so I have to act in some kind of way. So I've kind of tried to align myself with as close to as I can to the paradox of life, so that I can best represent the thing I'm here to do in a way that makes sense in this sort of dualistic place. So yeah, if I have a mission, I guess it would be just to act with this sort of larger reality in mind.
And how do you envision yourself in 5, 10 years? And do you have a core value? I think that we can take the core value, like act with a larger um, vision. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I guess I don't like to define myself in terms of value, because I feel like that's the viewpoint of a slave. I'm intrinsically valuable because I exist, and all of you exist, and you're all a part of me, and I'm all a part of you. So nothing is more or less valuable. But yeah, I'm just trying to um, make sure that if I'm going to use the word value, I'm valuing myself and everyone else and everything else in this kind of loving approach that I'm talking about from before. And then where do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? I don't believe in time either, so that's a tough one. Yeah, I just I just want to prepare for my next life. So I in 5 or 10 years, I'd hopefully have enough support around me, and enough sort of money and students and people here at the center, and other things, to just be able to kind of meditate for a year or two or three or 5 or 10 or 20. So that's where I see myself.
Who do you pass to?
Let's go with Livy.
Hmm. It's hard to be prepared for this one. Um, if I have a mission, um, I feel very inspired by the concepts of freedom and self-sovereignty. And I think maybe if I don't know, it's hard to, but if I could choose a mission for myself, I think it would be um, advancing in this direction and allowing others to co-create places of freedom and self-sovereignty inside and outside. Um, and how do I envision myself in 5 to 10 years? I have this dream of a project that it's very alive, but very on hold at the same time. That is called casulo. That means cocoon in Portuguese. and it's the idea of creating a space for creativity where the architecture, the environment, and everything around you allows you to connect with your most creative self, and having spaces for individual time and for collective time, and yeah, I don't know, exploring the edges of art, tech, and um, yeah, just experimentation, performance, perhaps. So I had a prototype of this to do it in a boat once, but it didn't happen. But it's still evolving, and hopefully it will happen in 5 to 10 years. And a core value of, I think, kindness and authenticity. And I pass to Griff.
Oh, thanks, Livia. Well, let's see. I have my collective the like mission. It's no secret. I really believe that we can reward people who create value for society. That's kind of like a core mission. But as a personal mission and to play the more vulnerable, fun game, I really want to be a dad. I can't believe I'm 36 years old. I don't have any kids. And when I was 20, 18, like I always knew I wanted kids. And so it's so weird to me that I don't have, like, it just blows my mind that I don't have like 10 little kids running around right now. I don't understand how that happened, but it is what it is. And I definitely envision myself as a father in 10 years and really focusing a lot of efforts on that. Of course, having my fun commons games and playing with the commons, that'll never end. But, I would like to be doing both. And core value is win-win. I really want every interaction with me or with with me and anybody and the rest of the world to be a win-win. Whether it's an interaction with a space or an interaction with a person or whatever it can be. I can't say I always succeed at fulfilling that value, but I try really hard. I love the win-win thing. So I'll pass it to, let's see, how about D-Dan?
Thanks, Griff. Yeah, so I have like a vision about all the information that's available now, and it's just becoming and more every day, and about making information more easily accessible for the people, and that there's so much value just out there waiting for people to pick up and add value to their lives, but it's just not widely accessible. And in a variety of domains, that's my like core vision. And I hope that in 5 to 10 years, I'll have some fruition of building like digital skills for people, some kind of collective educational institution. And core value, that's kind of I'm always wondering about the how. I don't know if that works for a core value, but I think that is me. And I will pass to Chewy.
Thank you, Dylan. Do I have a mission? Um, um, I guess I could uh, I wouldn't define it as a mission really, but I have really felt related for the last years to contribute in things and projects that at a certain time of like difficulty during my personal life would have helped me. And well, as I've talked to many of you, film and music are a big part of that. So uh, I wouldn't define it as a mission really, but it's something that has felt really really good to contribute back to. So in the next 5 to 10 years, uh, it's I've always felt like this like call to like give back to that to like film and music communities. But in the next 5 to 10 years, I would like to keep contributing, but I guess the past months have like redefined a lot the how in that is going to happen, and how it's going to be something new and innovative and meaningful for these communities. And I I guess like a core value that I feel identify with is uh, I could say that like maybe like loyalty or uh, I don't know how to say it, but like in like if someone gives you something, if a community gives you something, like if they make you feel welcomed, I guess that giving back to them is uh, something that yeah, I guess uh, we could all like try giving back to the communities that have given us, and I feel that yeah, everyone should try that everywhere. I'll pass it to uh, Septimus.
Oh, thank you, Chuy. My mouse was dying. Wow, I never prepared for this question. Wow, mission. Like, I don't really feel like I have a mission. Uh, yeah, I'm just come to this world to have fun, I guess, but it's important. Uh, like, uh, like we have freedom, and my freedom ends where your freedom starts. So yeah, that's pretty important. Like we have to leave this world better than how we found it. About values, I value a lot like push myself and be better, like tomorrow being better than today and worse than yesterday. And how I envision myself in, wow, that's tough because I don't even know what I'll be doing next year. But well, I also would like to be a father at some point. So yeah, and yeah, educating kids, I think that's something very very cool. I'll pass it to Santi.
Thank you, Seppi. If I would have to define my my mission, would be probably to help everyone around me to get better, because by making them better, they make me better. And by that, I mean people around me, close people around me, and the small society around me, making them free. Those of you that know where I am from this little country that's inside another country, and I would love my country to become free. So that's my mission. If I see myself in 5 or 10 years, actually I'd love, in 5 or 10 years, I'd love to be able to see my country become free, to be able to leave my country and just be on my own, just feeling the happiness of knowing that they've reached whatever they wanted to reach. And as value, the older and older I get, I value more and more I value the society switching from a financial or economic centric society to a more social centric society. I think, and crypto is starting to help on that direction. And that's one of the things that I love from crypto. We need to stop thinking that growth is the only metric here, and starting to realize that welfare and and a lot many other things is much more important than growth and economic growth. So that's all for me. I'll pass it to Meta Verde.
My mission is to help us all transcend the wage debt slavery system and hopefully transcend money altogether. So like the whole crypto thing's kind of a conundrum there. And in like 5 or 10 years, I will be doing the same thing that I'm doing right now. I'm actually living my dream. All of the magic that I was doing for years has come to fruition in my involvement in these DAOs. This is exactly what I want to be doing. I couldn't be happier about it. I mean, of course, then there's the whole other thing that you get when you've reached your goals and you have to make new ones. And I think that's it. I love you guys. Thank you for having me. Oh, and I need to pass it. I don't have a clue who's gone and hasn't gone. Griff, will you do that for me? Or Juan, are you? I can't see who's running the meeting. Juan is. Okay, you were on top, Griff. I'm sorry.
I think everyone went, and it was a really great exercise because here we can see what we care for individually, and in that same way, we can identify what can we have like common points to add to the mission, vision, and values of the organization. Like I can relate that a lot of people talked about freedom and self-sovereignty and losing oppression from systems. So like yeah, the systems that we promote, they have to be characterized for the promotion of freedom and value of humanity, and also like to help everyone, as Griff said, like win-win situations, and also like I can also relate that to promoting less inequality and like help us transcend systems, and also that relates Durgadas with what Santi said, because they both are talking about transcending what we already have, and that it's important to be prepared and to focus on how this change, and how can we reward people who create value to society. So yeah, this is something that from which I can see that we have like a lot of points in common that can be reflected in our mission, vision, and values, and that even though that we are like reviewing them, I see that the ones that we have right now are really like related to all that we have said, because in the mission, vision, and values that we have right now, we say that we are not profit driven, we are value driven, and that's something that we all have said, like it's not only like the money and the profit we can produce, but also like the social impact that we can make with our organizations. So yeah, I think that what I see is that we are not far enough for from our points of view, and that we can come together in this organization, like polishing and having mission, vision, and values that we can all feel identified by. So yeah, it was a really great exercise. And for this session, I have 2 points in the agenda. The first one is that in the past gravity session, we decided to make a survey to identify what are the key points related to conflict management in decentralized communities. So yesterday we had a hack session with Durgadas, Dan, and Septimus, and we decided and we talked that it would be really great to have like a meta, and that is like what is the key that we are going to interpretate the results of the survey, and how is the language that we are going to frame the questions and the survey. So we are taking into account the governance survey that SoftGov did. We are also taking into account the survey that Omega is designing, and also taking into account these two surveys that Durga sent, that are surveys to identify conflict in the workspace and conflict management survey. And we are like framing the questions like into observation, feeling, needs, and requests. And then we are going to make like a spreadsheet where this is like the first draft, but the idea is to make it like more complex, and the idea is to see like which kind of the roles in the organization think differently or assess differently the conflicts, and yeah, like how does stewards prefer to be approached, and if it's different, like the way that contributors would like to be approached from the stewards. So like yeah, we there's a lot of work to do in this, but I like that Dan took the flag and accepted to take the responsibility of like polishing this survey to make it the best possible, because what we want to gather is like information on on what are the key aspects to improve on organizations, and what are like the most common problems that we see. And yeah, so we went one-on-one on these questions, but they are like really unorganized. But I would like if Durgadas or Dan have to want to say something on this questionnaire.
Well, I was just saying in the meeting that it made sense to me to frame this in terms of some kind of coherent narrative, and that coherent narrative would mostly make sense to me to be centered on the Offner process, the observations, feelings, needs, and requests. And then what we could do then is, under the fact that we who are the presenters of this would understand the relationship that feelings have. So we can ask feeling questions, but then we're asking those feeling questions knowing what the underlying needs are that could be addressed as a result of that, and then we could take those into account. Observations is mostly a tonal thing where you're basically stating things in a very plain way, and through hopefully stating them in that sort of tonal way that will encourage other people who are taking the survey to make observations without evaluations. And then the request is we're literally asking them, for their their responses, and we will also include open-ended responses so that we can, or open-ended questions so that we can get responses from those things to, better frame what we have going on. And I also think that we do need to kind of put in some questions in there that might identify potential legal things that could be diffused just through the asking of a question. So a lot of times somebody might feel like there's a really big scope or severity kind of problem, and it would be nice to have targeted questions that would give us hopefully a red flag about potentially what's going on. Now, my suggestion was that we basically create all the survey questions with a view toward these 5 things, and then just sort of randomize them or bring them around so that we put them in categories, so that when we're reading and deciphering them, we also have a method by which we can evaluate the answers to those questions in a way which so in some ways the questions are a little bit leading, but in another way it's set up in this way which is also consistent with other things that we're doing inside of Gravity and so on. So that was the reason why I made that suggestion.
Do you want to say something, Dan? He also like wrote these questions, like the role uh, and yeah. So I took
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have anything to add to that. I really appreciated Durgadas's input into that, and I started approaching I kind of zoomed out from the survey, so I haven't really dove into the survey questions themselves yet or creating them. And all I would say is if anybody has some good ideas of questions that they think should be in the survey, they can feel free to add that on the sheet at any time. We're going to try to have a complete draft in the next 2 weeks. So I'm driving on that. So I guess we can reconvene on that next week.
Yes, tomorrow we are closing this sprint, and we are going to add the survey for this next sprint. But I am going to like read out loud some of the questions to like let you know what we have like scoped for now. Like, have you had a conflicted situation within your community? And if no, how do you prevent conflict from arising? If yes, how did you manage the issue? Did the management strategy help to solve the issue? This is like the first question. What do you think are the main sources of in your community? Like communication, coordination, cultural differences, stress, heavy workloads, or complexity of user interfaces experience. And if do you think that that main source of conflict in your community is the same to other decentralized communities? And in what ways could this community generate trust for you? This is a qualitative question, because we would like to identify which are like the main rituals or acts that generate trust to people, so that we can like multiply them in our community. And this was also like another way of framing the question, and it's like name 3 times the community created trust upon you. That is also really good, because we can like say like, okay, the community created trust for me when I was going on vacation, and it was really easy for me to get other people to take care of some of the tasks that I won't be able to take care of. Or I feel that the community creates trust with me every time I get praised. Or we can reproduce the good ideas we can gather from this question. this is something that we need to keep rephrasing, but it's like, what do you need to trust? Like, what are your needs, or what do you need to trust in a conflict management process? Like, but Durga said that maybe saying conflict management process is too technical, and maybe we can frame it a little bit like more easily. But yeah, it's like to identify how gravity can generate trust into people, and this is for like our community or other communities. Is there a easy way to situations in your community? Like, people in the TEC might say yes because we have like gravitons and we have the type form, but maybe people in other community will say no, and we can like take notes from which people on other communities like participated, so that we can also identify other stakeholders to approach and to yeah, to make relations with. How would you prefer to report a conflict? Have this to that is through a type form or through a communication with a peer in the community? Would you actively participate in a management process with the parts involved to solve the issue? How do you express feelings, identify needs, and make requests in your community? Yeah, and how would you like to be approached after submitting a conflict management mechanism? And this is also like a note, like how many, like what type of conflicts are you reluctant to talk about? And this also relates me to another question that I saw in one of the questionnaires that Durga sent, that is like, how much time do you spend talking about conflicts in your community? Because it's, we have to, and I feel that is something that we have done in this community, that we have normalized talking about conflict, and it's really good because that leaves like the taboo of it. But if in a community like people don't talk about conflict, that becomes maybe like a taboo. And yeah, so these are like the questions. What do you feel about it?
I think they're good. Maybe I could read a little bit to like look with more attention, but it sounds good from what I heard.
Thanks. Yes, also you can see these two surveys that Durga has sent that are like conflict management surveys. They were really good. And and Dan are going to like help to polish this. And like Durga has helped with the idea of the spreadsheet to interpret the answers of the survey. So like, yeah, it would be a work from this next sprint to like polish this a little bit and to see how can we like match the information of the survey and get the best out of it.
Yeah, I think that was the thing where I basically said we should figure out who we're talking to and then figure out what we want to talk to them about, so we could maybe put the questions or groups of questions down the side. And then when we're asking the questions, we know who it's kind of targeted toward. Or we could have different surveys based on different kinds of contributors.
Okay. And the other point of the agenda that I wanted to read with is to update the manifesto, because we had the Gravity Manifesto ended with the first generation of gravitons, and like this was the roadmap of our first roadmap, and it was like design the responsibilities of the role of conflict management managers, related wanted behavior to graduated sanctions, design the onboarding training and rotation of this group of people, create a system to channel disputes and connect them to experts accountable for approaching parts. So I think that more or less this roadmap has been like completed, and yeah, good. So like the second roadmap, we have to like define some clear milestones, and like the three milestones that I have like identified is to design and apply the gravity survey on our and other communities, to design and test an easy step-by-step process of gravity, and to make relationship with other communities. I think those are like the three key points to the roadmap. Do you think they are good? And we should also like add then like a time for when do we want to like see again this roadmap. And yeah, maybe I wanted to do it like in a 3-month basis, because it's like the same time lapse that the transparency audits have. So I think it would be good to have this roadmap maybe ending um, maybe in June or July. What do you think about?
I just was thinking of one thing because the other pieces of what we're doing kind of go a lot of the way towards creating some kind of framework of conflict. Like we could probably figure out with the survey and the other research of like historical examples, like what are the 10 types of conflict or something like that. Even if it isn't something that has to be completed. But if we have that kind of in the vision, I just think it kind of makes sense to put together what pieces we have along the way.
Yeah, I just added it to the milestone for this second roadmap. Anyone wants to add any other milestone to this second roadmap? Yeah, that is something that I have talked. He tells me that after we have had certain practice in gravity, and after we have had certain amount of conflicts, maybe we can also say like what is the best way to handling a certain type of conflict, and also like what are the 10 most common type of conflicts. After like we have this database of conflict, and we can like analyze the cases. So yeah, I think I am super I super agree with what you said, like creating a framework to understand and to like have like easy responses to conflicts, so that maybe other organization can just like yeah, take note of some of the main type of conflicts that we identify, and that they can say like, okay, we will try, we are lacking in this, or maybe we are having this other conflict, so that they can like try to yeah to address that situation, and propose ways of improving.
Maybe something to add would be um, like a guide for the first interaction. like maybe there could be we discussed once, but maybe I don't know, it might not be a good idea, but I think it would be nice to test, like having some type of quick invite for a call, like an accessible way to request a call, because I think maybe that first interaction can speak a lot about the nature of the conflict. And then if there was a guide for all of the gravitons about how to handle this first interaction, like let's say someone like comes very angry or frustrated, or like with those raw emotions of when you're making that first step towards solving a conflict, that um yeah, that could be nice to have like a um like kind of a little code of conduct or something.
Okay, I think these are really great milestones for this roadmap, and maybe the ones that we don't finish them in this roadmap, we can leave them for the next one. But I would love if we can like have a review of the second roadmap, maybe in June or July, to see uh, how are we doing, and if we there are some things that we can add, or yeah. Do you think it's better in June or July? I actually I think that I am going on back. So maybe my it would be better for me to do it in July. So yeah, what do you think about it? Do you have any concern about it being in July?
Sounds like a good time because it will be a couple of months after the hatch.
Okay.
And maybe we'll, yeah, maybe conflicts will happen then. Like not hoping to it, but
Okay. And in that review of the second roadmap, we will also try to include the planning of the next graviton training. That it would be really good if we can do it in the second semester of the year, and we can also in this in this second training, we can like try to gather inputs on how can we improve the training, and like we can also rotate the speakers to also like empower new gravitons, and like yeah, I think that the idea of the trainings is not to have like the same content once and repeat it all over, but maybe something that can be freshened up, and also like having different people to do the trainings, so that it's not like one like a repeated thing, but like a common and understanding of the thing. So yeah, I think that in this review of the second roadmap, we can see who can be the next speakers, and yeah, how can we design best the next training.
Do you think it would be worth on this second training group to have some potential gravitons from other communities?
Yes, yes, that I think that would be super amazing. Like I want the gravity group to be a very diverse group, and a group that can have like gravitons in different communities, so that we can also like then be like a network for doubt, for like easing DAO to DAO relationships, and even yeah, conflicts between the same DAO. And there is this other thing that maybe someone in the community would prefer to have a graviton from other communities and not from the same community, and that's like a valid thing. So it can be good if maybe a conflict in the TEC, we can have a graviton from other community, or yeah, I think it can be like a great network. Gravitons can be like a great network for communities. Or even like if to address conflicts between communities, like maybe there was a conflict between two communities, and we can let the gravitons from each of those communities to represent the community or something like that. These are like ideas that they are
Right. I think the richness of having members from other communities bringing their case studies or their conflicts or their their experience would make the training much richer for everyone.
well, that's all that I wanted to share with you today. Thank you, and for your presence, for your attention. I I am in awe of praising you, because like I always forget or like lose the time on praise, but I will for sure praise you guys for being in these calls.
Thank you,
Thank
Juan.
you,
Thank
guys.
you, Juan.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Juan.
Juan.